Hi, Ben Purcell, Creative Director at David&Goliath. For the right accounts, they are attracted to that kind of thinking, so it's just kind of trying to find and attract those kind of clients with a similar mindset, and it does show successes. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I'm sure a lot of people like the work that we're doing, but they also like the results that we're seeing. When Universal sales are up 20-30% and Kia goes from number 12 to number 5, it's not just brave for the sake of bravery, it's brave because it stands out from the sea of sameness. The social landscape has definitely changed advertising, but I think one of the things that remains constant is it's still about the idea. It's just different ways that people take in the media now, and I think that is where we will continue to thrive as an agency, because for us it's always been about the ideas. Our approach is a little differently now as we evolve as well. It's no longer what's the television spot, it's what's the core idea. And as long as that idea is big enough, it's going to work in a number of different mediums. And it's just how can people take that in and become part of the conversation. Here it's, initially when we were building up the digital team a few years ago, we have brought in some new players that can really be a part of the team. But along the way, you also have a lot of people that really do both. Our approach is really about what is the core of that idea, and then what are some of the best ways of executing. So as long as you have the talent there, a lot of it we realize it translates either way. We have digital writers here that used to be traditional writers, but then we've also have some that are more digital to begin with, and sometimes on various projects we'll have somebody that might be more of a designated art director writer that concepts with the team, but it's really we almost throw those titles out. I mean, it's hard to even really say that we have a digital guy and a traditional guy. Instead, it's just what's the approach, I mean, the way I sort of look at this place is this really feels like an amalgamation of a lot of different cultures. David Angelo himself really acts like a New Yorker, and you have Colin, who is South African. We've just hired some teams from Canada. There's a guy down the hallway from London. There's Aussies here. So I really feel like it's a mix here. So when I think about the LA scene, some people might say LA is a little more laid back, and I think perhaps we are, but I feel like the culture itself is really more of indicative of David and Goliath than necessarily the region that we're in, A lot of times the ideas are fairly universal. I mean, you can tell about the region, but that's one of the things that you start to realize is those ideas that really stand out are standing out universally, and it doesn't really matter what country they're from. If it touches on a human truth, it's something that everyone can relate to. I used to know